Maura McCullough, founder of College Scoops. Our goal at College Scoops is to provide valuable, curated content to help students and parents get a better feel and vibe of a college campus in the surrounding area. Whether you are in high school or at university, College Scoops provides the inside scoops on everything college-related, highlighting the best places to eat, stay, and explore on and around campus. We know college visits in particular should and can be fun, offering new insights into the local community and surrounding area each and every time you step foot on campus. We have just launched a virtual college experience series to highlight what our student ambassadors love about their school and to answer several important questions you and your students may have about particular colleges. We hope you find these videos helpful. We had a ton of fun making them. Thank you to all of our student ambassadors and to the entire College Scoops community for pulling these together. Please subscribe to College Scoops and follow us on our social media. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Kaelyn Edwards and I'm the lead student ambassador for Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute for College Scoops. I'm from Southern Pines, North Carolina, studying biology at RPI, and I'm going into my senior year. On campus, I'm a student ambassador, so I give campus tours and help answer prospective student questions about student life and really anything else there is to know about what it's like to be a student at RPI. I'm also involved in Greek life, so I am in Alpha Phi, which is a sorority on campus. I do play a handful of intramural sports. I've done some undergrad research throughout my time on campus, and I'm also a part of our women's mentoring program.
Hi everyone, my name is Luke Chapdelaine, and I'm from Bedford, New Hampshire. I just graduated RPI with my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and I'm staying for my master's in mechanical engineering. I'll be graduating with that in December. Throughout my time at RPI, I've been part of undergraduate research and now graduate research. I've been a TA for the computer-aided design course. I've been part of Rensselaer Music Association, Destination Imagination, and Engineers Without Borders.
Hello everyone, my name is Nina Goliad and I'm from Princeton, New Jersey, but right now I attend RPI in Troy, New York, which is just outside of Albany. And I'm going to be starting my senior year very soon, and I'm pursuing a dual degree in computer science and math. I'm a member of Alpha Phi, so when I'm not too busy studying, I'm a very active participant in a lot of the events that the sorority has, and I'm also working part-time as an intern at a tech company, so that takes up some of my time as well.
Hi everybody, my name's Charlie. I go to RPI, or Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland, a suburb right outside of Baltimore, Maryland. I major in industrial and management engineering, and then I'm going into consulting after I finish my senior year. So I'm a senior. And some of the things I do outside of school at RPI, I am, as you can see, a member of the RPI men's varsity soccer team. We're one of the top D3 teams in the country. And I'm also really involved with the Soul Survivors Club on campus. That's a club dedicated to raising awareness and funding for victims of sexual assault. And lastly, I work as an admissions ambassador at RPI, so giving tours, advertising the school, doing info sessions, doing things like the thing I'm doing today.
What do you wish you knew when you arrived at freshman orientation?
So if I could give any advice for freshman orientation, I think it would be that you don't have to commit then and there. When I came for orientation for college, I was really under the impression that I would get there and I would need to immediately decide what sports or activities or organizations I would participate in for the upcoming year. And that was kind of stressful for me because it was a new environment. And on top of that, I felt like I had to kind of plan out my year in advance. That's not the case, not at RPI, not at any school. Basically every organization, club, with the exception of maybe some very competitive teams that have tryouts, they're all very open to accepting new members halfway through the semester, halfway through the year, no matter what the person's background is, what their interests are. So when you get to orientation, I think it's a great idea to look around and see what activities are available and to talk to as many people as possible. But don't feel like you need to commit or decide what it is that you're going to be doing until you actually get to campus and start the semester and kind of see where things go and see these organizations in action. And don't stress, because everyone will for sure find something that they're passionate about and something that they enjoy doing.
For me, the biggest thing, if I could go back and talk to myself a few years ago, would be learn how to say yes to things. So college can really become a routine between classes and homework and studying and tests and practice and clubs. You can definitely get into a very set schedule, and it can become a little bit repetitive and a pattern. And so one of the things I advise people to do is say yes to things that you otherwise maybe wouldn't have, or maybe you wouldn't have in high school. You know, go try an activity you haven't before, go hang out with someone who's outside of your friend group, go on weekend trips, go to, travel abroad, take vacations, do things you otherwise wouldn't. College goes really quick. And so it's super important to get out there and have these new fun experiences while you're young and there's no pressure and you can really just do whatever you want with your life. If I could go back and talk to freshman year Charlie, I would definitely tell him, be looking for ways to do things that aren't just your day-to-day life. Get out there and really find those special experiences, because when you do, those are the things that you're going to remember when you kind of look back on your college experience.
What was the deciding factor in choosing RPI?
To give a little background, I came from a smaller high school, so I didn't really want to go to a college that was overwhelmingly large or directly in the city. But what I noticed is that on average, it was those colleges that had more resources in terms of research or job placement or co-op placement. But what I loved about RPI, it was the best of both worlds. It's a small to medium-sized university, but it still has these strong connections to many different companies for internships, co-ops, and full-time jobs. Plus, it has a variety of different research opportunities.
When I was going through the college application process myself, I had pretty quickly narrowed down the fact that I didn't want to be a journalist or go into any sort of the liberal arts side of things. So I was really looking at a lot of different STEM schools. Truthfully, at the end of the day, I was deciding between RPI and RIT. RIT is the Rochester Institute of Technology. Honestly, at the end of the day, I went to both RPI's and RIT's Accepted Students Day, and I really just felt that I clicked with RPI students a lot more. I felt like, people were similar to me, where they were very focused on their academics, but also pretty social and, eager to get involved on campus and really just get their most out of their college experience. So after just honestly interacting with the students and going and visiting both RPI and RIT, that's really kind of how I narrowed things down, was just how I felt being on campus and how well I got along with other students that were already going to those schools. So I really do encourage you sometimes just to step back from the numbers and look at the area that your college is in, or even just, try and talk to students and see, do I gel well with these kind of people? Would I want these type of people to be my friends throughout my 4 years in college?
How easy is it to register for classes?
So I actually found course registration pretty easy if you do a little bit of advanced planning. So every semester, RPI has a portal called YACS, where they put up every schedule and you can go in and it's interactive and sort of play with the courses that you're planning on taking. And so it'll give you all the different permutations of when you can take them. It'll spit out different calendars. And then from there, it's a pretty easy process of going on your school's portal and just entering the sort of ID numbers for the classes that you're taking. It usually takes probably about an hour for me to sit down and game out all the scenarios with my classes for the semester and find the schedule that I like best, has the most days off, things like that. And then, the actual registering is real easy, just takes about 5 minutes to log online and get that done. So registering for classes I actually found to be pretty straightforward and never something I worried about.
The course registration process is not anything you need to worry about. But what I would recommend is creating some backup plans. On occasion, what will happen is you'll try to register for a course, but the course will have filled up already. If this course is something you actually need for your major and there's only one section of it, you can email the professor and they will find a way to get you in. I've never run into any issues with that if it's a course I've absolutely needed. But in most cases, what will happen is there will be a variety of different sections to choose from and you'll have a lot of flexibility. So as long as you're prepared, you will be totally fine in the course registration process.
What is the social scene like? Are freshmen allowed at parties?
So one of my favorite things about RPI is kind of the balance that everyone seems to find between academics and social life. So I knew when I was applying to different schools that I definitely wanted to go somewhere that I would be challenged academically. And I can tell you that RPI is definitely that school for me. Everyone that goes to Rensselaer is really focused and driven, especially academically, and is really passionate about a lot of things that they're studying and working on. But at the same time, everyone does definitely have fun and makes the most of their college experience. So I've never been, pressured to drink or anything like that at RPI. I think, the opportunity is definitely there. A lot of our fraternities will throw parties. A lot of our sports teams on campus will also throw parties. So you can definitely find a party on a Friday or Saturday night, sometimes even Tuesday nights if you're looking for it. But it really, I don't think, is the sole thing that defines an RPI student. Everyone also really looks out for each other and makes sure that everyone is safe, especially kind of in those more party environments. So I really think that's an awesome thing about RPI and just our student body is how much we look out for each other and how we do have fun, and it's great to let loose, but at the same time, at the end of the day, we all understand why we're in college and that we're there mainly for our academics.
Partying in college is certainly an option, but it's by no means mandatory to have a great college experience. Myself personally, I have a lot of friends who do party and some friends who don't, and I, like them equally, hang out with them equally, and nobody's really judging. It's all based on your personal preferences, what you're comfortable with, what you want to do, and just how you choose to have fun on the weekends and when you're not doing class and things like that. The one thing I will say is, both the people who want to party and who don't, is meet as many people as you can. You never know who's going to be doing something at any given time, but the more people you know, the more likely it is you'll find something to do. So that is kind of my answer to the question that doesn't really have a right answer, is that, regardless of what you want, you'll find it at college.
How difficult is it to find housing?
So when I came to RPI, my first year, I lived in a freshman dorm, as did everyone. Everyone had to, live on campus that year. Then my second year, I lived in my sorority house, which was also a really cool experience. I got a position in the sorority, and I was able to become a lot closer with a lot of the girls that I wouldn't have expected to. And now this is going to be my third and final year, and I'm living in an off-campus apartment. So really, I've never had trouble finding housing. I think finding an off-campus apartment would be the hardest one. And even then, I go to RPI, I go to school in Troy, so it was pretty simple for me. I think I Googled RPI student housing or Troy, New York student housing, and a lot of different resources came up. Something that I would recommend is if you are looking for off-campus housing, I would suggest that you talk to upperclassmen because they would have had apartments already or they would have heard other things. And a lot of times apartments get passed down, from someone to their friend who's maybe a year or two younger than them. And they, I think, would have the most insight in terms of, how much it costs or how safe it is or how clean it is and things like that. But I think there's usually a lot of different resources in terms of helping students find housing that fits their price range, but also that they're comfortable in.
For your first 2 years at RPI, you are guaranteed on-campus housing and you are required to live on campus. So the process for registering for that is very straightforward and very easy. Once you reach your junior year, you're allowed to move off campus if you'd like. About 60% of upperclassmen move off and 40% stay on. So there are good options both ways. I personally decided to move off campus my junior year, and I found it very easy to find a landlord, so that really isn't anything you'll need to worry about.
Are students actively involved in clubs, recreational sports, and outside activities?
I think this is really cliche, but it's honestly true that there is something for everyone. every single student that I know on campus is involved in something, organization, a club, sport, some sort of department, maybe a job. There really is something for everyone to get involved. But what I also think is super nice in college is that you yourself get to gauge how much commitment you want to put in. You yourself get to choose how much time you're going to commit to something, and that makes it so much more enjoyable for you because you get to tailor your time the way you want to. So for example, if you're a member of a club and you say, I don't want a super involved position, I want to just show up for meetings maybe a couple times a semester, that's perfectly fine. Obviously there's things like sports teams where you do have to show up for practice, but a lot of other activities it's completely up to you what you want to do with them.
Our student body here is very active. There are over 200 clubs and organizations here on campus, so there are a lot of different options. Depending on who you ask though, some people are more involved than others, so my recommendation is to not overload yourself, but find a few clubs and organizations that you can commit to and that you really enjoy.
Does RPI do a good job helping students apply for internships and research opportunities?
So on campus, we do have our Center for Career and Professional Development, otherwise known as the CCPD. We love our acronyms at RPI, but I think our Career Center does a pretty good job at helping find internships, co-ops, post-grad jobs. I really do encourage you to look at the return on investment for RPI. That was really a big thing that I was trying to focus on when applying to different schools. Employers definitely know that RPI students go through a rigorous academic curriculum and that we will be prepared post-graduation to work in the industry.
When it comes to looking for an internship, co-op, or research position, the responsibility is on you to take initiative, but RPI has a ton of resources to help you out. For example, the Center for Career and Professional Development, or the CCPD, is a great resource if you want to schedule a meeting with an advisor to talk about your resume, practice interview skills, or ask general questions about the job application process. In terms of research, I've found that the best way to get involved is to just reach out to the professor you are interested in working with, and they can direct you from there.
What tips do you have to succeed academically at RPI?
I think that's such an open-ended question, but if I were to give one piece of advice, I would say that planning is the most important thing. So you come to college and it's probably going to be the first time in, a lot of people's life that they're living alone, there's no supervision, and it is going to be very easy to not study and maybe go hang out with your friend instead, or go play a sport, go do whatever. But at the end of the day, you need to hold yourself accountable. So I like to give myself a plan and say, these are the 5 things I want to accomplish today or this week or whatever time frame it may be, just so that I am holding myself accountable, because it gets very easy for work to kind of pile up at the end of the semester, and that gets very, very overwhelming. You have finals, you have exams, and then you also have all this work to do all of a sudden that you could have done during the semester.
If you come to RPI, you'll probably hear this over and over again, but one of the best pieces of advice I can give you to succeed academically is to practice your time management skills. For example, this might mean if you have a 2-hour break between classes, getting some homework done in that time. That way you'll have time later for your clubs and activities, and you'll be able to get a full 7 to 8 hours of sleep. We don't expect that you have your time management skills 100% down by the time you enter as a freshman, but it is a skill you will develop throughout your time here.
Here's how you can get more information like what you have just seen to help you and your student get the inside scoops on college life. We have close to 100 ebooks available at collegescoops.com for purchase. All of our ebooks feature student and parent testimonials on what life is like on campus, living, learning, and working while attending college. We offer students and parents favorite places to eat on and around campus, along with a host of local excursions for you, your student, and family to enjoy during your college experience. With direct links to restaurants, hotels, and excursions, we have made it as easy as possible for you to plan your trip, saving you time, energy, and stress. Whether it is your first time visiting or at graduation, we've got you covered.